Oh, it's a bitch Mimi. Oh, hey May. I did not know we lived on the same floor. No way, really? That's so awesome. Now I'll be able to catch up. Whatever happened between you and... The river of girls shifted as we headed down the stairs. Suddenly, I found myself surrounded by a bunch of people I didn't know. What a jerk he turned out to be. What a jerk you were to leave me alone. My exclamations faded into the buzz of voices in the air. Oh no. What would I do if we got separated? I'd have to talk to people. Searched the crowd, girls for Mai, couldn't find her. Everyone was dressed in the same Asagao uniform. It was difficult to tell everyone apart, and being so short really didn't help the situation. Heard that. As we turned the last corner down the stairwell, I saw a flash of red hair a little ways in front of me. Mai? I reached between the two girls and tapped her on the shoulder. Oh. Yeah, it totally would look the same from the back. Huh? Aw, are you another bitchy girl? Almost like a jolt of electricity shot through I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else. She said nothing and turned away. Before I knew it, I stood outside of Primrose House watching the flow of girls disperse across campus. Mai was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't even hear her chirpy voice. Aw, man. I took a deep breath, biting my lip. This wasn't a big deal. I could go to class alone. I didn't even know where the building was. I reached into my backpack and dragged out my class schedule. Homeroom, 206 Poppy Hall. Why does everything sound adorable? Which one was Poppy Hall again? Weren't the classrooms on the other side of campus? I almost went into a weird southern accent. I don't know why. I picked a direction and began to walk, trying to ignore my rising panic at the thought of arriving late to... You guys can read. You know what's up. I can't. As a third year, where no one... Oh my gosh. I accidentally skipped a thing. I don't even care. Is that who I think it is? Hey. You okay? You look a little lost. I am. Someone called out to me, and I turned around, almost jumping for joy. Ah! It's JonTron! Why am I so happy? And I froze. A Normal Boots jacket. He was part of the Normal Boots Club. I could practically feel my tongue swelling in my mouth. If this was a Normal Boots Club member. I had to make a good impression. I'm actually a little flustered. I forget till I have a wee little bitty crush on JonTron. He was one of the founders, right? Then this must be JonTron. Yeah, I'm new. I don't know where Poppy Hall is. You a freshman? No problem. My class is in Poppy Hall. I'll walk you there. Yeah, you will.
Really?
That'd be wonderful. Thank you. Was this really happening? He began walking toward a large brick building in an enthusiastic manner, pumping his arms up and down like he was in some kind of show tune. I fell into step beside him. I didn't notice when May pointed him out to me yesterday, but JonTron had big brown eyes and a warm-looking face. He does. He was basically a human puppy. I glanced up at him out of the corner of my eye. That's a real awkward sound is what that is. A burb! A bird on his shoulder! Birds always make me uncomfortable? Birds are the best. Something about the ease which they could poke out someone's eyes. Is something wrong? Why'd you stop? No, nothing's wrong. He followed my gaze to the bird on his shoulder.
Hey.
Oh, this is a shock. Isn't he cute? Yes. So excited. Nice to meet you. I can't have a robot voice very well. It spoke. He put his hand on his shoulder. Jock jumped into his palm. Jock is a robot bird, see? Yay! Hello. You can tell that this was made by a fan, which is really, really nice when they pay attention to little things. Jock's eyes gleamed dangerous red when he spoke, but nothing else suggested he wasn't a normal bird. In fact, if I hadn't known better, I would have said the red in his eyes was painted on. That's pretty good. Jock twitched his head to the side, examining me in return. The more he looked at me, the less afraid I was. What are you looking at?
What?
What? Nothing? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Jock can be a little sassy. Who are you calling sassy? I'm not the sassy one. I don't forget to feed you. Jock, that was one time. I was alone and starving in the frozen tundra of this empty world. Loveless. Afraid. Ignore him. I've been bringing him with me to the drama club and he's taken a little too well to it. Dorbs. I see how it is. Shut me out like I have nothing to add to the conversation. Jock took his place on John's shoulder, this time facing away from us as, if miffed, we resumed our walk towards Poppy Hall. I'm JonTron, by the way. Call me John. I will. Hana, nice to meet you.
Hana.
That's a cute name. Thank you. How long have you had Jock? Since middle school. We've been together 4 years now. Ain't that right? I'm not listening. Yeah, well. I love him to death. I don't know what I'd do without him. Oh, birds. We arrived at the brick building, white signed, surrounded by poppies. Declared it to be, unsurprisingly, Poppy Hall. Which room are you in? This sexy one. Room 206.
Really?
That's my homeroom. We're in the same class. Well, fancy that. John laughed and clasped me on the shoulder. Wonderful. I guess I'll be seeing more of you then, right? Yeah. Together we entered Poppy Hall. Poppy Hall was lined with fluorescent lights as Asagao blue lockers. The lack of students milling around in the hallway indicated we were a bit late. Oh no. We should just play hooky. We ran up the stairs and made it into the classroom just as the bell rang. My heart caught in my throat. Thankfully, the teacher hadn't come yet. Sucker. Instead, students clumped into tight pods and milled around the classroom, catching up on vacation news. Thank you so much for showing me your class.
See you later.
Yeah, I'll see you, baby. He waved and disappeared into a wriggling mass of students. I feel like the creepiest creeper of all of Creepington. I glanced around the room looking for an empty seat. There you are, you sneaky bitch. You left me. Peeled herself out from between a cuddling couple. What were you doing in between them? Was that JonTron? Were you just talking to JonTron? Yeah. Mai's eyes widened. I couldn't help but feeling a little smug. Suck it, Mai. I realized I didn't know the way to class after I got separated, and he offered to walk me. Mai emitted a highly pressurized squeal. JonTron walk you to class? Oh my gosh, you have to tell me everything. No, I don't. I don't have to tell you shit. She grabbed me by the wrist and pulled me to an empty desk in the back corner of the room, right next to the window. I saved you a seat. I slid and took off my backpack, hanging it in the side of my desk. I was a little bit worried that the books inside were too heavy for the bag to handle, but so far it held up well. Sorry we got separated, by the way. It can get a little chaotic sometimes. So tell me, what happened? What did he say? What did he smell like? Does he have peach fuzz? Is it rough? I didn't touch his damn face, you creep. Wait, what? Was his hair super silky, or did it have the roughness of a dog's coat? That's what I do when I meet strange people. I just immediately touch their hair. Depends on how many drinks I've had. Before I could answer, the door to the front room slid open and a tall woman strolled in. The class went quiet and obediently slid into their seats. My heart beat furiously, blood rushing through my ears. You look like a sexy, slutty teacher. Miss Shizuka! The teacher's melodious voice swam through the room, calming the buzzing high of students back from break. My shoulders relaxed and my fear ebbed away. I am your teacher. Shizuka Wakahisa. I am bad at reading. You may call me Miss Shizuka. The emphasis she placed on the word led me to believe calling her Mrs. wasn't a mistake she would take lightly. Some of you might have noticed that we have a new student this semester. A hail of murmurs passed through the class. Some people glanced at me. Nope, there was that fear again. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself? Isn't the answer to that always no? Like, no kids ever liked introducing themselves? I nodded, stood, and slowly walked to the front of the room, counting my steps to make sure I wouldn't fall. I faced the class, took a deep breath, and introduced myself, and noticed a familiar face in the crowd. BBG's face cracks me up. There was John sitting with two other boys wearing normal Boots Club jackets. One of the boys, the tallest one, was staring at me. The barest of frowns on his face. Something about him seemed really familiar. Wait, was he was PBG, wasn't he? The other founder of the Normal Boots Club! Oh, damn! Suddenly, all of the strength left my knees. What should I do? Why was he frowning? Was it possible that I already made a bad impression on him? You had to be kidding me. If he didn't like me, what did that mean about everyone else? Wouldn't they follow his lead? I do not miss high school. I swallowed. The faces of the class began to congeal, forming one giant blob. Well, that's some Cronenberg fucking shit right there. Yeah. Then, like a beacon of light, I noticed Mai smiling and giving me a thumbs up. She's cheering me on. That's right. What would May do in this situation?
Yes, I've just moved here. My name is Hana Mizuno. I transferred from Amaririso Public High School. I'm really excited to be here. I hope you'll all take good care of me from now on.
Take care of your damn self, Hana. You're an independent woman. Thank you. You may be seated. Returned to my seat, heaving a small sigh. The hardest part of the day was over. Shizuka began to talk about standard procedure for the semester, the rules for classes, when homework was due, that sort of thing. It was all very similar to my old school, and I spaced out in spite of myself. A brief flicker of movement caught my eye. Ah! PBG! I glanced at him, and his head snapped back to the blackboard. What was his problem? Class continued on like that until finally the bell rang and it was time for lunch. May stretched her arms over her head and yawned. Man, I hate the first day of class. It's always so boring. Weren't you looking forward to it this morning? Something about exciting things happening? Yeah, but it already did. You met JonTron, didn't you? I did. Got nothing left to look forward to. Jesus, don't be so freaking dismal. She sighed. I was hoping to see Jared before class too. She slouched and fell across the front of my desk. It seemed like this would be happening a lot. Is Jared really that hot? May's head snapped back, her eyes flashing. What did you say? Nothing, you know, like everybody eats their own. I don't mean anything by it. He's hot. He's fine. He's a good looking fella. If you stare directly at him for too long, your nose will melt off. I've seen it happen.
What?
Exactly. Anyways, let's head to lunch. I'm super hungry. Man, you go through emotions like fucking toilet paper. I looked at my backpack. It held up well throughout class, but I'm worried if I didn't take some of my stuff out now, I might do some permanent damage to it, especially with Satch's book in there. I couldn't exactly afford a new backpack. I need to put something in my locker first.
Oh, no.
But if we don't go now, they'll run out of sesame seed buns. Just go, man. I'll just go on ahead. Come find me, okay? I was so lucky to have someone like her as my roommate. As quick as I could, I went to my locker and shoved the book inside. As good a book as it was infinitely happier that I had my around, so I didn't have to read it. Without her, who knew what I would do with myself, especially with PBG staring at me like that. Maybe I could ask her what was up with him when I met her at the cafeteria. It might just be the way he was. Cheered, I headed for the cafeteria. Carry your melon bread through the minefield of people searching for the now familiar sight of Mai's red hair. Where is she? Couldn't see her anywhere, and there were almost no empty seats. All around me, students circled each other, laughing and joking, sharing bites of food, and splitting the cost of sodas. Suddenly, I felt very obvious and very alone. Isn't there anywhere I can sit? Just then, I spotted a table at the front of the room. A lone boy sat at it, stabbing his spaghetti with the vigor of a Roman general. He was having a hard time with it.
You have a bunch of Pokemon that you don't want, either because you already have them or they don't fit your playstyle, and you want to trade them out for ones you might want or haven't
I'd be
seen.
intimidated too. Recognizably green and gray jacket was bent behind the counter. Did I check out that ass? I would check out that ass. No.